This is the CT Sports Talent Show. My name is Chris Saunders, and for the Offensive Player of the Week for Connecticut High School football from Trumbull, a senior running back who had 5 touchdowns, 348 yards, and if you're doing the math on 27 carries, that's about 12.8 yards per carry, but we'll round it up to 13 because round numbers are nice. Rowan Johnston's with me. As I mentioned, for Trumbull, they are 2-2. They are currently on their bye week, so Rowan's able to kind of enjoy this high of highs with the game that he had against Ridgefield for another week. But Rowan, I appreciate you coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You know, it was when I saw the numbers, and again, when I go through the weekend, I try to find who, for offense and defense. And when I saw your numbers, it was late Saturday night, and I said to myself, I can't, I'm not looking anymore. I mean, nobody is beating 5 touchdowns and 348 yards. I mean, the kid from East Hartford who I had on had 5 touchdowns, but that's from the quarterback position, so a little different. But for a running back, I mean, real quick, that game, dude, I mean, just take me into that a little bit if you can.
It was a tough game. The game was scheduled for Friday, and it was just an onslaught raining all day on Friday. So Ridgefield moved it back a day, and that gave them a lot more time to adjust their game plan and what they wanted to do. So it's a tough scenario for us to play in, but we prevailed, and that's what Trumbull football does.
I wonder if they almost wish they played. Maybe it was slowed you down a tad.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
So, again, congratulations on being named the Offensive Player of the Week. Heading into this season, in my years rather, broadcasting football and basketball and baseball and such for both the radio and for NFHS, I've seen my number of, FCAC teams for a variety of sports. And I've always been intrigued by the competitiveness from top to bottom, right? I mean, the quote worst teams in the FCAC, I think, could handle some teams in other leagues. And that just goes to the depth and the talent and such.
Yeah.
Coming into this season, knowing that you've got, I mentioned to you Staples, you've got Wilton, the St. Joseph's, the Greenwiches, I can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
How was it preparing for this season, knowing that you had a gauntlet of a schedule coming up?
The FCAC is I think, in my personal opinion, it's the best conference in Connecticut. So we know we have to play the best teams each and every year. And Trumbull steps up to the challenge every year. We made the playoff semifinals last year. So, we're just prepared for it. We know what we have to do.
Now, Trumbull being as part, because I think also St. Joe's is located in that area, correct?
Yeah, it's right. It's really right down the road.
So is there again, I'm a novice here, so people may be like, oh, you should know this. I don't. That's why I'm asking you. Is St. Joe's kind of like a rival, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. Every year we play them on Thanksgiving. It's the biggest game of the year. It's what we have circled on our calendar every season.
Okay, so I'm going to quiz you quick. What's the rivalry as far as meetings? Because meetings are huge. How many meetings will it be for this Thanksgiving?
You mean people coming?
No, as far as like the matchup, is it the 49th meeting? Is it the 50th meeting? How many years has it been going?
Oh, I have no idea. Probably since the start of the schools. I'm not sure though.
I'm shocked you don't know that. I would think that would be something everybody knows.
I don't know.
It's okay.
I guess probably the coaches do though.
Oh, the coaches definitely do. 100%. 100%. I want to go back a little bit because we were talking about kind of the how you were preparing for this season. For you, for yourself, it being your senior year and knowing that there's only so many games that you have, what were the conversations like with the coaching staff and your teammates as you were preparing for this season?
It's our senior season. It's a big year for me. We expect a lot of Trumbull football. We expected a lot of our team, but the main thing going through the room and the team throughout the start of the season, even going into now, is just we have 10 guaranteed games left. Mm-hmm. That kind of drives and motivates all of us to play harder, and all the seniors to, step up to the task, step up to the challenge. We only have 10 guaranteed games left of Trumbull football in the rest of our lives because we're going to college. So we got to make the most of them.
What was the outline as far as from the coaching staff, as far as what did they expect from you? What were they telling you that they had expectations wise for you?
I was a captain. I was voted captain, so they expect a lot of me, and they expect a lot of the other captains. But it goes for everyone on the team. The coaches expect everyone to play their best. They expect everyone to lock in, and be ready and be successful when on the football field.
When you were preparing for the preseason and then the games coming up, as I mentioned, Trumbull is 2-2, that you are on your bye week, so you don't play
Yeah.
for the week, and then you play Fairfield Ward.
Mhm.
What were some of the things that you were working on to better yourself at the running back position?
There's a lot of things I could work on. I mean, my footwork. We do drills every day, stuff like that. I mean, like not tackling to say, but like breaking through tackles and stuff like that. Well, a lot of the issues we were having, was just getting to the second level at the start of the season. So, and that's why we brought out some of our jumbo sets and stuff like that, where we brought in more people, more packages. And that showed that us working on it. In the last game, I rushed for 348 yards. So
You just wanted to say you ran for 348 again.
didn't just want to. I'm just comparing the reasons.
No, I'm joking with you. If I ran for 348 yards, I wouldn't shut up for months about it. I keep talking about it until next year. Who
Yeah.
cares? I mean, it's a massive compliment to you and for your talents, man. I want to go into your mind a little bit as a running back. Okay. So as you're going through practice or even during the games, right? And you're seeing that your offensive lineman's getting beat on an inside contain, right? And he's starting to come in on the inside part. And what I'm talking about, like through the A gap, the B gap, the center and the guard, and so on, or the guard and the tackle for the B gap. What is your thought as that's starting to break down? Because you're seeing that big defensive lineman D end, and he's got one mission. He's coming after you. What are you thinking?
I mean, I have complete trust and faith in every one of our guys. So if I see that that's happening, the coaches will make the adjustments. I don't have to worry about it too much. All I need to worry about is me getting to my spot and knowing what I'm supposed to do. I trust every man that we have on the field.
Now, when I was watching film, the one thing that I was very impressed with is that a lot of running backs that I see, and I broadcast in the NVL, so a different kind of running back,
Yeah.
maybe not as polished depending on which team. But again, a lot of them are young, they're learning the position, they're coming through the ranks. For you, when I was watching, you're a very patient runner. You wait for the offensive line to kind of like Le'Veon Bell. I don't know if you're a
Mhm.
Steelers fan or not, but working through the progressions, you wait for the offensive lineman
Yeah.
to do their thing, then you go. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. That's a big part of my game as well. I feel like, yeah, I am a patient runner. I can catch out of the backfield too, which makes me a dual threat. And just waiting for the hole to open up. The offensive line makes their plays, do their job, and it's pretty easy for me at that point.
Now, one thing I didn't see, and you'll help me with this, the blocking aspect. Being a running back, you
Yeah.
could run for 348 and do all that good stuff. But if you can't block,
Mhm.
especially if you get to the higher levels,
Yeah.
that becomes, you're going to be facing some better competition, bigger dudes. You got to be able to do that part of the job. You see at the NFL level with various players, even like Christian McCaffrey, he'll lay
Yeah.
somebody out if he has to. How was the blocking aspect for you?
Like blocking for me or like the blocking up front during the game.
The blocking for you specifically. If you got to protect
Mhm.
your quarterback, if you
Yeah.
got, okay, let's say, for example, five offensive linemen, they're showing five pre
Yeah.
snap, and then
Mhm.
post snap, they're bringing six.
Yeah.
Nobody's picking up that extra guy from the secondary or whatever. It's up
Mhm.
to you to be able to block. How
Mhm.
is that for you?
I think that's a big part of my game as well. I've been working out all off season, stuff like that. My bench has gone up, my squats up. So I'm pretty confident. I feel like I'm a pretty confident blocker. I know what I'm doing and like helping the offensive line out. I know what I have to do to check the fronts and stuff like that. And yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty good blocker. Protect my guy Caleb back there. Make sure he's all right.
Yeah, you got to protect the quarterback. Need him.
Yeah.
Need
Yeah.
QB1.
Yeah, exactly.
So as you were coming up to this Richfield game, just looking at the scores, again, you put up 46 in a loss to Hamden, 20 points to Danbury, or 28 rather to Danbury, 14 to Newtown in a loss, and then obviously the 42 against Richfield. So you guys were putting up points, right? You're
Yeah.
putting them up for the most part, and 3 of the 4 games pretty high. Coming to that Richfield game, did you have like was there any sort of build up, like the first game you ran for, let's say, again, I didn't see your stats, but let's say first game you ran for 101 or 2 touchdowns, but and then it got progressively more. Was it like that, or was this a game where just it popped, everything came?
I think this was just a game where everything popped. It kind of came. I started out really hot against Hamden. I had 6 touchdowns, 200 yards. And the past 2 games, I wasn't getting the ball too much in the running game because we were using the other back in the backfield and I was just playing receiver. But yeah, we made that adjustment, it put me back there like once again, and I went crazy, went pop off.
So you have how many touchdowns this season?
13.
Okay, so 11 in the So if you combine the Hamden game, my apologies, and the
Hmm.
Richfield game, you've got 11, and then
Yeah.
in between that, you've got 1-1.
Hmm.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
bad at all. 13 touchdowns through 4 games. That's pretty impressive.
I had 7 in the game last year.
Who was that against?
Massic. First game of the year.
And that was a alliance game too, because FCAC against SWC.
Yeah.
And Massick, they're good. What was
Yeah,
it?
they're a very good team.
Back playoff appearances between 21 and then 22, if I
I
remember right.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're
They're
very
very good. They're a very good team though.
yeah, very good team. They've got a lot of talent. They really
Mhm.
do. Especially
Yeah,
to
for
where they're
sure.
located. They're
Yeah.
located basically in the woods. And then
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Now was the game there or did they come to you?
It was there. It was at Massic.
So when you had to go to the school, did you
Mhm.
get lost for a second? Because I know it's down that hill, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was a long walk for us because the bus was parked up pretty high. We had to come all the way down, stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's a tough place to play. So weird located place too, all the way down the hill.
I played baseball, so they have a baseball field that's up that hill. And I
Yeah,
played
yeah, yeah.
there in the summers back in the day. And I could tell you there's a big difference in the wind, right? And now you guys played at night, depending on because it's
Yeah.
late fall or early fall, it's a little different. But the wind really does play tricks on you because of the elevation. But you
Yeah,
guys being
exactly.
lower, it may
Mhm.
not really affected you that much.
Yeah, I mean, we were passing the ball just as well as we were on the ball that game.
Yeah. And that works out well because you got a strong arm quarterback and obviously
Yeah.
you and the rest of the team doing your thing. You
Mhm.
know, I appreciate you coming on, Rowan. This has been awesome. The
Of
Richfield
course.
game, really quick. The numbers that you
Mhm.
put up, obviously, not to say that you would ever not continue to work, but sometimes, as it happens with everybody, you kind of rest on your laurels for maybe an hour, 2 hours. It just depends on how long, right?
Yeah.
What was your thinking after the game was over? I mean, did you appreciate what you did? Because a lot of times being an athlete, your mind is okay, game's over, on to the next one. But the
Mhm.
benefit for you is having the bye week, which I think worked out well. I think you planned that. It gives you the opportunity to enjoy it for at least a little bit. You know what I mean? What says you?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, but I mean, yeah, like you said, at the end of the day, it's always just on to the next week. We have to focus on the next team that we have to play. But I mean, yeah, I did enjoy it in the moment for sure.
So I want to look at really quick because I know it's never too early to talk about the playoffs because I was actually talking with the quarterback from East Hartford who they
Mhm.
eventually lost to Glastonbury. I think they're 1-3 now. That basically kind of takes them out. I think they're in L, and that's kind of tough to be there, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
for you guys being 2-2 right now, and you know currently just at that 8 spot, and then right behind you is a team that I see quite a bit in Crosby. Um, has that kind of thought come to your guys' head like, okay, we got to run the table. We can't drop another game because then it
Mhm.
becomes, I don't know how great you are with math. I mean, when you can round up, the touchdowns you get, but then it becomes, okay, PowerPoints, who beat who? We need this team. Like you start needing teams to help you, and that
Yeah.
becomes extremely dicey. So what's it
Yeah.
been like for you guys now?
I mean, in the locker room, and I mean, the team is just. I mean, the team's pretty ecstatic about the last win, but I mean, we do have those 2 losses, so we can only afford so many losses. But I mean, yeah, we're going to every game hyped up, thinking we have the win. We're going to win. So the mindset hasn't changed at all. From I mean, us we were 1-2 at one point after. I mean, before this game, the mindset hasn't changed in the locker room about us. Like, I mean, not making the playoffs or anything like that. We still have that goal. We still have that drive to make it all the way.
For everything that you've done on the field, and I know I was sent some information that you've received off the field. I know on your X handle or Twitter handle, whatever you want to call it, that you've received a lot of accolades. Well
Yeah,
deserved, 100% on that.
thank you.
Do you ever like, not to say that you get full of yourself, but how do you stay humble, right? How do you kind of tell yourself, all right, there's more to be done. I've done this, that's great, but there's 30 other people that have done 10 times more. I mean, how
Mhm.
do you keep yourself so like even keeled and focused on, the mission?
I mean, back in the day, my Pop Warner coach. I mean, this is a crazy like connection, but he always used to say, "It's just ancient history, guys. It's just ancient history." So when we did have those moments where we failed, he could say, it was ancient history. You forget about it, leave it in the past." But when we did have those moments where we succeeded, you enjoyed it, but it's still ancient history. It's still in the past. So you just keep on having to move on to the next one. You're looking on the bigger and better things every week. That's how I deal with it.
That's really, really smart. And can you name your Pop Warner coach? Give him some credit.
Coach De La Rosa.
Why is that funny?
I mean, I don't know. I just it's completely random, but I forgot about it. I forgot about it up until now. But I mean, he was my coach when I was like, I don't even know, like 7.
But see, that says a lot that not only do you remember the words that he told you at a young age, but now
Exactly.
it stays with you. I mean, that's the importance. I mean, people kind of forget how important coaches are at a young age for both young men and women. And it seems
Mhm.
like your coach, De La Rosa, if I heard that right, really
Yeah.
kind of gave you a lot of wisdom that you've
Mhm.
carried on with you now to your senior year at Trumbull.
Yeah, I mean, coaches have a big role in everyone's lives. Coach Marcin Petrosio has had a big impact to my life so far. The 4 years I've been at Trumbull High, and yeah, like my Pop Warner youth coaches did as well.
That's awesome. Rowan, awesome to be able to talk with you. Congratulations on being the offensive player of the week.
Thank you
Best
so
of luck
much.
the rest of the season. And who knows,
Thank you.
maybe I'll catch you around during if Trump has an opportunity to be able to make the playoffs, maybe I'll be calling your game.
Sick. That'd be amazing.
I'll wrap things up here in the CT Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. Remember to find them all. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.